This is a series of 100 films about Japanese foods that I've eaten, and this is a film about wing night, Japanese style. Now, if you're familiar with Japan, you know there's three major cities, Tokyo, Osaka, and Nagoya. At 9 million people, Nagoya is the smallest of them, and it's also the city least likely of anybody in Japan to visit. I was an English teacher in Japan for 5 years, and it's a job where you talk to more people in a given year than most people meet in a lifetime. The same apparently is also true for celebrities, according to Jack Nicholson. Onaka ga suita. Usually at the end of my lessons, we had 10 minutes of open discussion time, and on one occasion, a gentleman who happened to work at a car company was in my class, and he often went to Nagoya. So I asked him, what's wonderful in Nagoya? Nothing, was his reply. You see, most people know how Kyoto has temples, Hiroshima has the atomic bomb, Hokkaido has ski hills, Nagoya has Toyota. Onaka ga suita. Later on, I dated a girl from Nagoya who told me that it was actually famous for being the place in Japan where you were most likely to get hit by a car. That said, I visited several times and it's actually really super nice. I thought Nagoya was the kind of antidote to Tokyo, where Tokyo has streets laid out like spaghetti. Nagoya is a beautiful grid with wide boulevards, and places are easy to find, and it's wonderful and modern, the perfect car city. In Tokyo, rental agencies ask you if you want one bedroom or a two-bedroom apartment. In Tokyo, they just assume you can't afford the parking space. In Nagoya, they ask you, do you have 2 cars or 3 cars? Now, one of the things about Nagoya that's interesting is that it has a very famous kind of chicken wings called tebasaki. Of course, wing night is a bar staple pretty much everywhere. In my hometown back in Cape Breton, there's a bar called the Steel City. Back in the day, my hometown had a giant steel plant, hence the name of the bar. It had a lot of wood paneling, and at any given moment, you had the suspicion the door would burst open and there would appear either Steven Seagal or Patrick Swayze. Now that said, I had a vague memory of going there when I was 19 years old, and they had a 15-cent wing night. So you just go and you'd order a beer, and for like $5, you get a giant basket of wings that seemed bottomless. This was the context I approached tebasaki. They're wings that have been specially seasoned, a specialty of Nagoya cuisine. They're also extraordinarily expensive. $5 buys you a plate of 3. Well, my friends love it. They taste amazing. The seasoning is complex. They don't just pour a bottle of buffalo sauce. Real care is taken to make them taste fantastic, and they'll give you a sense of home, because tebasaki is one of those Western foods you can't find in other places in Japan, even in American-style restaurants. So the only place you can get them is Nagoya. Why will my friends hate it? They're extraordinarily expensive. I ordered a basket of 3 for $5. So that's almost $2 a wing, and although thinking back, they might have been more expensive than that. However, they're worth it trying at least once. Where can I get it? That's right, you guessed it, Sekai no Yamachan Honten in Sakae. Sure, there are plenty of places to get tebasaki in Nagoya, but how many have a sign of a giant Japanese man with chicken wings? How could you not want to eat here? If you're new to Japan, you'll probably want to start in Tokyo from Shinjuku Station, since it's the busiest train station in the world. Take the Yamanote Line in the Osaki direction from platform 14 to Shinagawa Station, transfer to the Nozomi Shinkansen. Get off at Nagoya Station, transfer to the Higashiyama subway line in the Fujigaoka direction, get off at Sakae Station. Go out exit 12, walk forward 3 blocks. At the Starbucks, turn right, take your first left. Yamachan will be on your right in the middle of the block. As always, keep in mind this information may be out of date by the time you're watching this. The word of the day. The word of the day is onaka ga suita. It means I'm hungry in Japanese. However, usually men say hara heita. Japanese isn't a language where men and women need to speak differently. In fact, when using polite language, both sexes use the same words. In that case, you would say onaka ga sukimashita. But in casual conversation, some words make you sound more feminine and others more masculine. It's not something you can learn from a textbook. You just have to make Japanese friends and copy the way they speak, or not, depending on the situation. So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me, or at least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time we learn about one of the most important things about Japanese culture, the fish. So until then, sayonara.